Okay, so you have been in online business for 20 years next year. I'm sure you have
Yes.
mixed feelings when I say that out loud.
Very.
But what I want people to hear when they hear that is all the things I know about you, which is absolute veteran of the game, the person that I will Voxer if I want to know anything about funnels, like knows more about funnels than most people. Like you're so experienced across all offers, and again, like from low ticket to mid tier to high ticket, like you've just done so many different things in business. Specifically, I want to talk about the relationship between low ticket offers and high ticket masterminds today.
Yes.
And we're both like such practical girlies. It's like, I just feel like we need to almost bring everyone in with us. It's like, we're very practical. This is what we're talking about, and this is how we're going to do it.
Yes. Grab a
So,
notepad.
yeah, get a notepad. Yes, get a notepad. We're going to make this so practical. Okay, so last year you brought in a high ticket mastermind type of offer.
Yeah.
Can you share, like, why did you do that? How are you enjoying it? What are you loving about it? Like, just tell us a bit about it.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's always been on my I would like to do one day list
Yes.
because I think I've been really privileged to be in some amazing spaces like that. That was always been my favorite part almost of being an entrepreneur. Like when you
Yes.
get to come together, meet other amazing people, be guided by the right person and there's so many different versions of what this can look like.
Mm.
And but I was never, I guess, quite ready or felt confident enough to do it. And there was two main reasons. One is I'm a terrible introvert. And the thought of having to it's almost like having that thing in my diary of like, I'm gonna have to go and be around people in person. This sounds terrible. Even though once I got there, I'd probably love it. But I just like
Yes.
that pre-anxiety. I was like, no. And then also I have, well, he's now 6, but it didn't feel possible with like the amount of
Yes.
energy I had and like with my time really being not so much not flexible, because obviously having your own business, you can always put a bit of flexibility in, but more like likely to blow up at any point. Like, like I'm just always just one phone call from school or daycare away from all the plans completely changing. And I just didn't feel like I could create something where I'm like, okay, everybody come and be in this room on this date without knowing that
Mm.
I could even 100% guarantee I was going to be in that room on that date. So that was always kind of like I would like to, but I don't know how I would make that work. And
Yes.
then I think one of the things that was like kind of came together at the same time was I think like we all saw, well, everyone selling mid ticket, so that was kind of slowing down. My son's now in school, so that gives you slightly more
Yes.
reliability. Still not like the
Stop
number
it. You're
of,
my hope.
yeah, sorry, I had to break it. The number of phone calls I get from sick bay is just not, it's ridiculous. But just, 80% at least.
Yes.
And then also from obviously we kind of got to know each other a bit better over the last sort of year or so and seeing more behind the scenes of how you've been able to manage it as a new mom and things like that. And I was just like, all these kind of bits kind of came together all at once. And I was like, oh, this is actually I feel like I could create a space that would be valuable, that would
Yes.
actually also be flexible. And that
Yes.
was the two bits
Boom,
that
boom,
needed to
boom.
come together. Um, and then I
And
just
I was
had it.
like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she sees.
It's like the light bulb goes on, and yes. And then it was just a matter of getting over myself a little bit with the like, how can I sell this? How can I put a price like that on something when I'm so used to being automated webinars and everything is, I don't speak to people, so it's a little bit of muddying in the waters and figuring that out. But it's been great. It's been very good.
And I remember us having like really great conversations when you were putting it together. And I feel like such a big takeaway for everyone listening is that whenever I'm surrounded by people who have built amazing businesses, I'm always reminded that it's the people that have built amazing businesses that have lasted the test of time that spend a lot of time on their offers, like genuinely spend a lot of time thinking about their offers. And I think I posted about this recently. Like you could argue that it's the people who know how to make sales that then have the privilege of spending time on their offers. But I would actually argue the reverse. Like I think that they're successful because they've gone, how do I actually make something really good here? And how do I set this up in a way where it's going to get results and be really right for me and sustainable for me?
Yeah.
What do you like love about the offer you've created? Like, what are the pieces where you're like, yeah, this is so it for me?
I think that being able to find that right mix of being able to show up and kind of create, I guess, options and opportunities for people to have that more one-on-one time with me, and with
Yes.
like being able to get someone to like really just deep dive into their business, but without it being days and days of calls in my calendar, which
Yes.
was just never going to happen. I was like, I would find that so draining.
Yeah.
So it was like finding that balance of how can I structure something that is going to, I mean, when people come in, they're going to have what they need, how to actually target it to the kind of person who wants that. Like, they don't necessarily want extreme hand holding the whole way through. And
Yes.
then what can we also put in there to make sure that in between they've got the touch points, they've got the things that they need. And it's actually funny that you said that, because I just did the whole export from ChatGPT, like, sorry, ChatGPT, we're done, moving over to Claude.
Yeah.
And you have to pull it out and it gives you this like summary of all the things you've talked about. And it says like the top 3 things you're talking about, like offer refinement, number 1. Like it was like, she really probably needs to move on from that. I'm like, thank you, Chat. But
Well, I
but I
just
do.
validated
Yeah.
that, like, it's a positive thing. Wow. Yeah. You really invested the time in offer refinement.
Yeah, me and my 2-hour walks on the weekend with ChatGPT, we spend a lot of time talking about it. Yes.
But you got there, you created it, and you put it out into market, and it's like killing it.
Yeah, it's good. It's been really good. And now I'm like, we filled the first sort of
Yes.
cohort, and now obviously it's like learning all the other pieces to come in, as far as, you know, like when do we start promoting the next one? How do
Yes.
we invite people to like find out who wants to stay, or who's sort of had, the completion of what
All
they
my favorite
needed.
conversations.
So it's been fun. I love, particularly having been in business for so long, I love being able to learn new things,
Yes.
because I think it does get a bit like, it's a privilege to be bored in your business,
Yes.
but we got into business because we wanted things to be, interesting and exciting. So it has been very fun to do that.
Yes. And yeah, well, what you just described, I think, is like another big teaching moment for people, because it's the aim is boredom, to create that, because it's like boredom means consistent revenue, consistent profitability. Like, that's ultimately what you're scaling to create. And also recognizing that if you feel that, it's like, well, what can I intentionally sink my teeth into in a way that's not going to destroy my business, but
Yeah.
actually support it? So people will often, I'm sure you say this all the time as well, people will often go, oh, I just need to like get my hands dirty in the thing that's actually working the best. And then I'm going to just like cause so much havoc in my business. But
Yeah.
actually you were like, oh no, there's an opportunity for me to add a new offer here. And that's the thing that I'm just going to like play with instead.
Yeah. And it's always a tricky one to know, like, is this shiny new idea a shiny new idea? Or
Yes.
is this actually a good strategic move and a good use of your time? And I've definitely got that
Yes.
wrong many times, but I
Yeah.
feel like this
Interesting.
was like it, like it felt like it makes sense to have this in our business now. And yeah, it's been really fun.
And it wasn't just like your blonde mate being like, go, Kate, this is going to be a great idea for
Yeah. No, yes.
you. So, okay. So I want to transition into the low ticket to high ticket.
Yeah.
Something that I know you've gone really deep on this year is the relationship between low ticket offers and high ticket masterminds, and how the marriage of the two, that is essentially the pathway to sell out your high ticket offers. I almost want to come at this like in the way that is relevant to how you teach it. Like, what is your approach there? And why do you think it's so supportive for you in selling out your mastermind? Like, bring us into that.
So I think for any type of offer, but I think particularly with offers that are more premium investment, it normally, the amount of time it takes for someone to find you,
Yeah.
to then being comfortable enough or ready enough to actually make that level of investment,
Yeah.
it's a longer period of time.
Totally. I think it was like 260 days was the last I read
Right.
on
Yeah.
average.
I'm 9 months to 12 months, I think,
Yeah.
is
Okay.
and apparently it is actually getting longer, because
Yes.
just of the, the environment that we're in, people are more savvy, people are a bit more distrustful. Like, they want to make sure they're making good investments. They've probably been burned before.
Yep.
I think I could have bought a small condo on the money that I have wasted on things that didn't work out how I hoped.
Yes.
So, I totally understand that. So for someone who's wanting to be able to be selling and growing consistently, you need to find a way, like, how are you going to bring people in? And then how are you going to not just be like, all right, I'm going to spend $10,000 a month or whatever on leads. And then I'm just going to suck up that cost for 9 months. And
Yeah.
then hopefully I start making some sales. And then those sales are all just paying back this thing.
Sunk cost
Yeah.
over here. Yeah.
And then if it didn't work, if you spent all that amount of time and you actually brought in the wrong type of people, or you weren't promoting to them the right way, or they weren't connecting enough, or whatever happened, then that's really dangerous.
Yes.
And it's also something that most people aren't able to do. Like, most people don't
Yes.
have that ability.
Yes. You got to have a big cash outlay up front to be able
Yeah.
to survive that period. And it's a lot of like sitting, waiting, wishing.
Yeah. And I think to have a business that's consistent and reliable and preferably growing, you do need to have
Yes.
constant lead flow. So it's like, how do you get both?
Yes.
So I've always looked at low ticket offers as a way of paying for your lead flow.
Yeah.
So preferably it's profitable. Some markets that is a bit more tricky.
Yes.
Although amazingly right now, and I just feel like I need to like rub myself on wood, because like knocking's not enough. Like, in my niche, which is very expensive, we do actually have a profitable low ticket offer right now, which even
Yes.
at scale, which is amazing. But even if it was break even, like even if you were able to spend that $10,000 and bring in really good quality people and have, a few thousand people joining your list every single month, like, without going, oh, it's cost me all this money and I
It's
have
free
this risk.
leads.
Exactly. And then that all flows through and to every single part of your business. And I think that's where, whenever people are feeling stuck or they're not growing, it's always either like you've got an offer problem or you've got a lead flow problem. And if your offer is good, then you just need to get enough eyeballs in it. But
Yeah.
most people can't afford to do that. And
Yes.
the other option, which is like organic, is so unreliable and so time
Yes.
consuming that it's not always a good option for people either. Like, it's good to have a little bit of both, but if you're like, no, I've got big dreams, I've got big goals, I can't be waiting for the algorithm to choose me.
Yep.
I want something I've got a bit more control over. So that's where I really love a low ticket offer.
Yes.
And then the other part of that is that you're also getting people who are now buyers. So they're not just leads.
Yep.
And from that point of view of, if you think about like the trust recession that everyone's talking about right now, that if you think about it, people come in, they've purchased something in the first place, that thing was good. Like, that's important. You can't just whack a $27 price tag on something you would have had as a freebie. And that's going to give them more trust in you.
Yes.
And it's also going to give them more trust in themselves, because I think a big part of that whole trust recession thing we're seeing is people have, and again, I'm very guilty of this, they've gone out and bought a lot of stuff they've never even done.
Yes.
So if you can get them a little win or a little something, that is going to help to close that gap of the 9 months. Like, it's going to cut it in half, even less.
Yes.
Like, because now people are like, oh, I've got a little bit of momentum. I like this person. This feels good. What else
Yes.
do they have? Rather than, why is this person emailing me all the time? I forgot I even got on the email list. So
Yep.
it just kind of takes you up to that next level. Like, it kind of brings a relationship, like speed dating style kind of.
Yes.
And that all flows through, regardless of how you then go on to sell your other offers.
And so what I think is so there's a couple of things I think are interesting here. The first is that I also think most people are just not committed enough to spend the like 2 seconds, aka few hours, that is required to actually put together a low ticket offer and get a funnel around it.
Yeah.
And so anyone who is willing to do that, like, you're kind of already at an advantage, because for whatever reason, unless it's like a live paid workshop, that's like the fastest way I can see people implementing. I mean, I love live paid workshops as well, but to actually put together something low ticket, which is so easy to do now, right? Like, you can basically just get AI to scour through your existing content hub and pull out the things that are going to be most relevant.
Yeah.
Like, how the other thing I was going to add there is, I find that authority on the front end is like the biggest piece when you're selling your low ticket offer. Like, have the authority, have the experience or the experiment in your, life or business or relationships or money or whatever it is that you're selling,
Mhm.
package that and then sell it. Like, what do you see? Or what are some of the unique things that maybe you're not saying out loud as much that you see as being like the success things that people might not be thinking about when they're creating their low ticket offer?
I think the sort of well, there's a bunch,
Yes.
but I think a big mistake people make is they try with their low ticket offer to make it something that's like a mini version of what their next thing is.
Yes.
And that doesn't really work because usually that means it's quite a broad promise or what you're going to be teaching, or it's maybe even something that needs a bit of explaining, which you
Yes.
don't have the time for. Like people are scrolling and you have to grab their attention. You have seconds for them
Yes.
to go, oh, that's interesting. And you have to
Yes.
keep that momentum all the way through. Like realistically, they're not reading that sales page really. Like the most
Yes.
of the buyers should be from the ad 80% of the way there,
Yep.
which to be able to explain what this is, why they need it, why it's unique and different, something they haven't tried before, like that has to tick a lot of points. Yeah.
Boxes. Yeah.
And so I think that sort of, oh, I'm just going to make, which I think people think they're doing the right thing because they think, oh, this is going to then lead so nicely to my main program because I'm going to give them a little taste of that. But I think we have to kind of like divorce ourselves from that a little bit,
Yeah.
and it needs to be more specific.
Yep. Mm.
And I also think that people need to kind of be okay with, particularly if their goal is to run ads at scale,
Yep.
with not just appealing to their ideal client.
Tell us more.
So and this is what Facebook is doing right now. Give
Yep.
it a week and a half and it'll probably be completely different.
No, it won't. No, we're
Yeah.
good.
But like right now, Facebook is really loving having a big audience
Yep.
that it can go and find you people from. Like I'm talking like tens of millions.
Yes.
And to be able to get like a good cost per lead or a good cost per sale, sorry, that is going to allow you to scale, which is kind of these bits all go hand in hand. You need to be able to sell your thing cheaper than what people are paying for it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're not getting your money back. You need to give Facebook what it wants. So Facebook wants a really big audience. It wants to be able to get lots of conversions for you. It actually does. I think
Yes.
people think that it's evil. In some ways, I'm sure that it is, but not in this way.
Yeah.
It's actually, it wants you to do well because then you'll spend more money. Like that's kind of
Yes.
how it is set up. So if you go, all right, I've created this thing that my ideal client is going to lose their mind over, but your ideal client realistically is like 100,000 people in the world,
Yes.
then Facebook is like, I cannot find enough of those people.
Yes.
So what it does is it makes your ads really, really expensive because it's just too hard. Like it's trying, but it's too hard. And so you're not going to be able to get the scale. Whereas if you're like, I've created this thing, my ideal clients are going to love it, but so are all these other people. Then all of a sudden Facebook's like, oh, great, I can get you 10 times as many sales.
Yes.
It's going to cost you a fraction of what it would have cost you. You're probably still going to get the same number of ideal clients in, but those other people who, nothing wrong with them, they're just maybe not going to be part of the X% that then goes on to buy your main offers. But if you were running leads, it would be the same anyway. Like if you're doing lead ads, you only sell to a certain percentage.
It's so good because like what you're describing is the exact same strategy I'm talking about with clients when we're talking about trial reels right now.
Yeah.
Like go broader, don't be super niche with your top of funnel, like get heaps in and then we can refine as we go. And that's not always like been our strategy in the online space. So it's really interesting that in this time, and it obviously makes so much sense, but it's really interesting that right now it is more about like be specific, but also be really mindful about making sure that it's specific to a big pool of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's top of funnel, right? Like
Totally.
you've seen all those diagrams. It's an inverted pyramid, and
Yep.
the big chunk at the top, you want to have as many people in there as possible. So as that gets sort of brought in and
Yes.
like filtered down, you're getting enough people at the end.
Yes.
And so that I think is a bit of, it is very different. Like back in, I say the good old days,
Yeah.
we would run ads we'd have these crazy complex ad setups where it's like, someone's going to look at this page and then we're going to show those 3 people this ad.
Yes.
And it's the opposite now. It's just like,
Yes.
give me a country's worth of people
Yes.
and let's see which ones like it. And
Yes.
it all, and I think the thing to be okay with is, because I know some people are like, oh, but now I'm getting these people on my list and they're not my ideal clients. Like, what do I do with them? You can segment, you can filter them out. They'll probably
Mhm.
self-select out as well.
Yes.
You can do some more like clever things with having like qualifying questions on any, landing pages or on registration forms, things like that. So it's a simpler process to do that. Or you can just over time going, well, they're not reading it because it's not for them. We
Totally.
filter them out. That's okay. Just like you would do with all the people who've opted in for your very specific
Yep.
lead magnet who are 10 years off ever being at that
Totally.
point.
Totally. Okay, so what is your strategy for taking people from low ticket offer to high ticket mastermind, knowing that? And I love what you said before, because just to add like color and context to this question, I think far too many people are asking themselves, how do I fast track the buying process? And not enough people are asking themselves, if this is the data around how long it takes people to buy, how do I work with it
Yeah.
to actually maximize purchase? And that is just so short-sighted, asking that fast tracking process. Actually, if you think about it as how do I maximize it, you're probably going to do a better job anyway. But you spoke to this so well before. Like, if we know that that buying process is longer, we're bringing people in, they've purchased, which already reduces the likelihood of how long it's going to be before they purchase again. How do we keep them warm between low ticket and high? What do we do there?
So, I mean, there's so many fun things
Yeah.
that you can do here, depending on how
Like, where are you going to
complicated.
take this?
Yeah. Can I have a whiteboard? No. So there's lots of different things you can do, and I think it does depend on what works with your promotion calendar
Yeah.
and things like that. But I always almost look at like there's lots of like different engines that you
Mm-hmm.
can install and activate depending on what makes sense for you and the other pieces of your business to support a more premium offer.
Yeah. Mm.
So that could be um and I'm glad you said thing about like we're not trying to necessarily
Condense it.
dissolve the amount of time because that is just a really, really difficult thing to do.
Yes.
That's like if you had a big sales team and a massive budget and you were probably charging 10x what you're actually charging right now,
Yep.
so you can
Mm.
afford all those things, you could probably be harassing people on the phone day and night. And that could be a thing. Like that is what a lot of people have made a lot of money doing. But I think that's
Yes.
not what most people want to do in their business. Like
Yes.
not you want to be able to have business that feels good. You like the way that you sell, but it's consistent and it's, everyone's kind of coming on this journey and we're obviously going to shorten as much as we can, but we're not going to stay up nights trying to make the blue pen black. Like it's just, this
Yes.
is the reality.
Yes.
So for the first thing we want to do is have something in place for those unicorns that come through who are just ready to go.
The 3%, if that.
If that, yeah. So we want to make sure that there is a way to make them an offer, make them aware of what's next really quite quickly, knowing that good old Facebook, the second that they've jumped in and bought your thing, it's now serving them all of your competitors' things.
Yep. Mm.
So things just got very loud for this person in this state of, do I want to do something else? Do I, is this the right coach for me? Is this the right next step for me?
Yes.
So we want to make sure we've got something quite soon out of the gate. So usually after someone has purchased a low ticket offer, we have like a three emails that we always, four emails that we always send.
Yes.
And then that leads into what a second part of the funnel. So we always have 3 emails going out, which is basically reselling them the thing they just bought.
Yep.
Because you want them to consume it.
Yes.
You want them to actually use it, open it, read it, whatever it is. Otherwise, you've missed that opportunity for them to get that bit of trust. And also I feel like they end up with feeling like they've got a bit of homework from you.
Yep.
Like there's something undone, which just gets in the way of them choosing to do more.
Yes.
So we want to get them to do that. And then we have what I call like the pivot email. So that's all been related to whatever it is they just purchased. But then we want to kind of bring them back and remind them, like, well, if you bought this thing or you were interested in this thing, from my experience, that means you're probably actually looking to solve this problem.
Yes.
And we start to speak to them about that. And so that just helps to sort of like shift their focus to, or just illuminate their attention on what is that next bigger problem that you can help them with. And then I would put them into a sequence too. And that can look like many different things. It could be a VSL. It could be a straight up webinar. It could be even just a content series where you're inviting people to apply. Like it's sort of everyone has their own preferred ways of selling something more high ticket, and that call to action can apply regardless of what happens first.
I'm finding so much success with VSL funnels for clients at the moment because, so I love that you spoke to that. And I don't know if you're finding this too, but there's something about the consumption of a VSL in their own time
Mm.
with it having enough like meat in terms of good case studies if it's done really well to encourage someone to go on and take that next action. And I also wonder if it's because they're so used to being sold high ticket without a VSL that people that are using VSLs right now, they're just like, it's almost just like such a quick win for them.
Yes, and it's so much easier to put together than a whole
Yeah,
like singing and dancing
totally.
webinar as well.
It's true.
So it's probably like a good starting point for
Yes.
anybody, because it's like it ticks all the boxes of not super difficult to create, and
Totally.
people seem to be happier to actually consume them because they're also
Yeah.
usually not a whole hour long either.
No.
So you can kind of fit them
15
in.
minutes, 2 times speed.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen other people have really good success with like private podcasts and things
Yep.
like that. I think all of those, they're all a version of a
Yes.
giving value, letting them experience some time with you, and then
Yes.
making an offer. So that I feel like all of these are great options depending
Yes.
on probably what people maybe had good experience with themselves, or have maybe feel more confident in actually creating. Yeah.
Yes.
And then that's going to get some people through, right? So that's going to be those are going to be like the cherry on the top people.
Yes.
And then what about the other 98% of people, right? So then we kind of have to have two things. We have to have some kind of like live promo schedule that
Yep.
feels good, because these people are now like going to be popped on your list, and need to, re-engage them, reactivate them, get them excited, and then hopefully that matches up with the time that they are feeling ready. But you can also have things, and I feel like the tech is so close right now to us being able to do some insanely smart things. Like it's a bit too complex to set up at the moment, but it's like minutes away from being able to do it. But we love having something which we call like a VIP launch funnel, or like a secret funnel,
Yes.
which basically gets triggered based on, like, you can either do it manually. So I know some people will do, like, we have clients who they look at like the last 30, 60 days, who are the people who've been the most engaged.
Yep.
Maybe we pop them through this automated sequence
Yes.
where they get an invitation. Or once the tech kind of catches up, there's going to be able to be options where you're just going to tell the tech, like, what are the buying signals? Like, what are the signs that someone is actually more interested? Is it the fact that they've gone back and read some old emails? Is it that they are clicking through and listening to the podcasts? You can see that they're like clicking around on the side a bit more. Maybe they visit sales page a couple of times, and you can activate something that way as well. So there's so much fun stuff you can start to do with the more premium sales specifically, because you do have that mindset of it. It's about creating this kind of like longer game, like longer relationship, and being able to customize it a bit more, and kind of just give these like, and none of these have to be pushy either. We're not talking about you've got a 72-hour big flashing countdown banner or anything like that. It's just being able to say, this person looks like they're interested, looks like they want to buy. Let's give them that opportunity.
Yes.
And then it's a win-win for everybody.
I love as well. So the way that I'm teaching, like selling your mastermind in particular this year, is through live workshops. And I've got like a process around choosing free or paid, but I'm such a big fan of live paid workshops at the moment, for all the reasons that you said initially when you were speaking about LTOs. Like, the theory is the same, right? You pay that low cost, you're more likely to buy again sooner. It fast tracks people. It gives them the small win in something that is going to be like the precursor to that different, bigger next problem, like all of that. And what I love about what you just said is that this is where the LTO works really well with like a live workshop funnel. So say you're running like a monthly paid live workshop, which is a funnel that we're going to do for the rest of this year. If you've got your LTO ticking over as the thing that's also leading people through, it almost, because I've been thinking about it as, you can have the lead magnet strategy, or you could just have that as your way to actually get people into the paid workshop. If you've got two of those things, pre-mastermind, like what epic value and opportunity you have for people to get really warm to your work really quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You need to build out a strategy for it is like it's like the loophole strategy. It's like this paid loophole, then this paid loophole. And it's at this point in the podcast that we're losing people and they're just like, what are you two talking about? But I really love that because I always think about it as stacking funnels and then seeing like how they're going to weave into one another to get to the ultimate outcome. And I don't think I've heard anyone explain a low ticket offer funnel and a paid workshop funnel working together in that way you just described.
They work beautifully together. And
Yeah.
I actually saw someone the other day, and I haven't tested it myself, but I was like, oh, this is kind of genius,
Mm,
who is running like a regular paid workshop,
yes.
running a low ticket offer. And her order bump is, do you want a ticket to my upcoming
Amazing.
paid workshop? I was like, that's
Yes.
genius.
Yes.
Like you could see how deliberately these are actually working together. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Love that. I think that's like our next strategy.
Yeah,
For
give it a
everyone
try.
that's listening, you just got like maybe like a $300 workshop worth of value from that. So I'm just thinking about that, like almost the best way for us to close this out. We've talked a funnel from low to high. We've talked about the approach. We've talked about your offers, your messaging. Is there anything like, I guess the big takeaway for this? Like if there was anyone listening who's like, I want to sell out my mastermind, I want to use these approaches, like where do I start with this? What would you give as the key takeaway or biggest thing for them to do or not do?
I think the biggest thing, and I know it's so tempting when you hear, like we've talked about multiple different strategies and things you can plug in, is to figure out like which one is going to give me the better like ROI right now. Like which one is
Yes.
going to be the one thing that's going to actually move the needle the
Yep.
most, and just be prepared to spend a bit of time on it.
Yep.
Because the difference between something that works exceptionally well and completely changes your business
Yes.
and that thing that you tried that one time, it didn't quite work out, and then you moved on to the next thing, like you could have been a week of tweaking away from it. So I think it's while we want to do all of these things, and I'm sure there's people who've been listening to this who've like literally drawn out this whole thing and like going to do this week, this next week, this the week after.
Actually iterate.
Just take a
Yeah.
breath. You don't need to get it all done in a month or a week.
Yes.
Like if you set this up over a year,
Yep.
you and gave each of these things like the attention and time it deserves, your business would look completely different.
You are in the 1%.
Yes, because that's the bit. I think that's like that's like the secret that
Yep. Agree
that
with
no
you
one wants to
so
do
much.
because
Yep.
it's not fun.
Yes.
And as soon as you try something and you go, that didn't quite work, all the stories come up like, I'm not good enough. This won't work for me. It was a lie. Rah, rah, rah. And then you just see the next shiny thing and you get your little dopamine and like, well, that thing will work. And so I can forget about that and I move on.
Yes.
But if you can stay in that discomfort and go, well, like, what's the thing I need to learn here? Like, where is it? Is it a skill gap? Is it a time gap? Is it how can I plug that piece by piece and just be okay with being a learner here?
Yes.
You will completely change your business.
I think that's such great advice, especially for LTOs. I think that it's so much easier to get dopamine from live funnels, and it's so much harder to sit and iterate something like a low ticket offer. And the stories come up around, this is only $27. Why is it taking me so much time? Like, how is this ever going to be profitable? But like you say, if you get that right, like the payoff over years for not just that particular offer, but also the skill of knowing how to create something low ticket that feeds your business, like the payoff of that is just enormous. So I think that's such incredible advice. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, my pleasure. And to be honest, I think the dopamine is very similar for the $27 sales. Something about sales notifications, it doesn't matter what it says, makes you go, yes. So
hold out for that feeling. That makes it worth it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing on this. I appreciate it so, so much. Love having you here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Good.